Hello everyone, in this video we are going to design the side menu screen for our Ionic application. This is a continuation of our gift shop application series, but if you're watching this video as a standalone project, then definitely you can still go ahead with it. So it's time to start the video. Let's get started. Now I'm taking the gift shop application up till episode 5. I'm going to start over with that. If you want to continue the series, you can watch the series. The link is there in the description for the whole series. If you're working on it as a standalone project, just want to design the side menu, then you can just follow the one that is shown in this video. You don't need to do anything else. Okay. Now, what I will do is I'll go to the app.component.html file in which I'm going to design that up, which we will have it here. And for having some icon here, let's show it. For having the icon, I need to do certain stuff in my homepage HTML file. So after the ion title, let me have an ion buttons. Slot will be start. Now within this, I am going to have an ion menu button. So if you have a menu on the sidebar menu, then only it's going to show up. So if I hover on it, it is not working. I have to go to homepage TS file and pass it here directly, ion menu button, copy it and pass it in the imports also in this particular way. Now the error will go away. You won't be able to see anything here unless we pass something in our app.component.html file. You will just see in some time how it is working. So I'm going to start off with ion menu here in this way, and this one is also not imported. So let's go to app.component.ts file and I have to pass it here, ion menu. Let me copy it and pass it here. Alright, now the error is gone. Let's get going with it. Now for our ion menu, I need to pass the content ID, which is very much important, this property. If you don't pass it up, we won't be able to link the router outlet with this particular menu and we won't be able to see the design, the side menu basically. So let me name it as main content, and here I have to pass the ID as main content. Both names should be same in order to work with that. If once that is done, you can see this is showing up, the menu button. Otherwise we won't be able to get it. Now you can see side menu is opening up. We can simply design within that now. So within the ion menu, I can do whatever I want to design this up. So I'll start off with ion header part. We need an header here where there will be no border. So ion no border class will be given to this. Then I'm going to pass a div for background styling. You have already seen the design in the intro part. That is what we are going to design, the tick mark sign, something of that kind. Basically a box kind of a design within this div. And in order to achieve that, what I need to do, let me go to app.component.ts file and check one thing which it might be missing is the SCSS file. So this app.component.scss file is not linked here, which I need to link in order to get started. Otherwise, if I do any designing in this particular file, it won't impact. I have to pass it in the global.scss to make an impact on it, which is not a good practice because I want the design of this particular HTML in this particular SCSS file. Otherwise, it's of no use to have this file, right? So in the app.component.ts file, I'm going to pass it here, which will be style URLs, which will be an array, and within that, I'm going to pass app.component.scss file. Okay, pass a comma here. Error will go away. Now I can design it up in the SCSS file and it will work. So first of all, I'll work with the ion header part because I'll just fix the height of it. So height, let's have it of 10 rem will be fine for our ion header, because the design that we are going to build will take certain height and I want the header to be a little bigger than that. The next thing is the div that we need, which is having the class of bg. I'm going to work with that now. Now I'll define the height, same height to this particular div also. Once that is done, I'll pass a width of, let's say, 130% more than the 100% one, because I want it to like stretch the size so that we can design the way it will look. We have already seen how it looks. And let's pass some background color so that you can see what exactly it looks like here when we are designing it up. So let me just comment the width one for the time being, and I'm going to pass the linear gradient color. So I'm just passing it in certain degree, let's say 90-degree angle, and it's gonna be the secondary color 0% and primary color 100%. So now let's see how it looks like. This is how it's looking, correct? So mixture of both the colors. Now if I want to stretch it, but you won't see the impact if I do this width right now, we'll do it later on. First of all, what I'll do is, let me just move this at the top, and I'm going to transform this by rotating it by, let's say 15-degree will be fine. So let's try it in minus 15-degree, because if I give positive 15-degree, it will be in another direction, which I don't want. So this direction is what I need here. So as you can see, there are some spacing here, correct, which I want to fill it up. That is why this width will come into handy now. So if I give the width to be, let's say 130% or more, now you see this is getting stretched up, right? That's what I need. And other things, well, you can stretch it more if you want to, but I'm going to cover it up with the help of margin left and right and top also. But before doing that, I need to pass border radius to it. On all sides, different border radius will be given. So in the top left 10 pixels, top right 10 pixels, bottom right 10 pixels, and bottom left it's gonna be 50 pixels, because I want it more on the bottom left part, which is this particular part. Okay, and if you still want to see that, I'll just comment this up. Let's see how it looks like now. Just check it out. Okay, alright, this is done. Now we will play with margin. So let me give some margin top of, let's say minus 3 rem will be fine, I think. Let's try it up. Alright, I think it's good. If we move it towards the left side, this will be hidden, so it's fine, I think. Now margin left will be, I think 1 rem will be better, not more than that, because it's almost covered up. So yeah, 1 rem is fine. Now let's test it in some other devices also. Let's test it here in the Android one, how it looks like. Okay, it's still covered up, great. What about this one? It is still covering up. And what about iPhone 14 Pro Max? There you go. So it's working almost in all devices. I don't think there will be any issue with this particular design in any way. Now just a slight box shadow which is slightly visible, I'm just going to pass it up, which will give a good effect to it. So box shadow of 0.1 pixel, like I have already used earlier, the box shadow. And let's say 10 pixels, you can just understand this up. This is just a designing part, okay? And the color, well, I have selected it, but I'm just passing the RGB colors for that directly. And finally the opacity will be 0.5. That's what I want to pass, and just check it out. Just a slight border box shadow is being given here, okay? So you can change the color by clicking on it, just hovering on it actually. And this is the color which I have selected. You can change it as per your requirement by moving all this, okay? That's what you need to do. I think this design is fine. We can go ahead with the other stuff. Now let's get back to the HTML file once again, and let me close the other files actually. Alright, now it's fine. After this div, I will have an item here where there will be no lines. So lines will be none. And within this, I will be passing an ion avatar whose slot will be start. And within that, I am going to pass an image here, where src will be assets/imgs/avatar.jpg. So this is the image which I already have in my source code. Let me just show you. In the assets folder, in the imgs folder, this is the image that I'm going to pass. You can just get it from my source code, the same image, or you can give any other image if you want to. Once that is done, what is next? The next thing which we need to work with is the ion label here. Within the ion label, I'm going to pass the name. So let me do one thing. I'll go to the TS file and prepare a property here. That's going to be easier. And in fact, this particular one, I'm going to cut it and pass it within a function called add all icons, let me pass it here. That's going to be better, and I can call this function directly here, add all icons. Alright, so if I need to do anything else, I can directly do it, which will be required later on. Now what I need to do, that's interesting. I will pass a property called profile, which will be equals to, let's say, name. It's gonna be, let's say, Nikki Thakur. Any name, I'm just giving it up. If it's a real name, if it is your name, please don't mind. The email will be, let's say, nikki786@gmail.com. Any email ID I've just given. Alright, so I think this is fine. We don't need any other information here. Let's work on that. So in the HTML1, I'll get the value of profile dot name. Okay. Alright, I have to remove this in order to get rid of this error. It was not an error, it was a warning actually. Now within the p tag, I will have an ion text here because I can change the color directly, to which I'll give the color of light color. And same goes for ion label also. I'll change the color to be of the light one because white color will look nice as the background is already a little darker. Now within this ion text, I'm going to pass the email here. You can pass phone number also if you want to, but I'm going to pass these two stuff. Now let's check it out. Alright, this data is coming up, but not at the right place. We need to align it properly. So let me just break it down so that we can see each and everything properly. What exactly we have done, right? Absolutely. Great. Everything is broken up properly. I'll go to the SCSS file, which is this particular one, where I'll work with the ion item now. Let's get going. Ion item. I don't want any background here because I'll be using the background of this particular div. That is why I'm going to set the background to be transparent, but there is already a default property of background, so dash background will also reflect the same, right? It's better to use dash background. Now just check it out. So the background is gone. It's a transparent background now. Then the position of it, I'll set it to be absolute so that we can move it at the top or wherever we want to. At the top position, I want 1 rem from the top. Let's check it out. So 1 rem from the top and nothing from the left side, so 0 from the left side, which is showing up. That's great. It will work for me. Now I'll design the ion avatar where I'll pass the height, width and border radius. So height is 5 rem I am giving, and width also 5 rem to make it a little bigger. Then a border radius of 50% to make it a circle. Okay, it was already a circle, but once we change the width and height, well, the border radius is must. If I don't give it, just check it out how it looks like. It is still coming up, so I think I can avoid it for the time being. Let's check it out when we require, because I'll be giving a border here, then it will be required. Okay, just check it out. Now I'll be passing a border here of 5 pixels, much bigger border of this particular color, almost a secondary color one, but lighter than secondary one. So now you see this border is coming up properly, and we don't need it actually, so that's great. In fact, I'll remove it. No border radius is required and it is working fine. That's great. I thought it was required, so I just gave it. Now this margin right is too much. I don't want that much of a margin here, so I can just pass margin right to be of 10 pixel will be enough, I think, not more than that. Alright, now it is quite closer, which I am okay with. You can pass in rem also if you want to. I think 1 rem will be fine. Let's check it out. 1 rem, no, it's quite big. How about 0.6 rem? Okay, I think 0.6 rem will do the trick for me. Let's keep it in that way. Okay, and moving ahead, I'm going to work with the ion label here. So in the ion label and p tag, I'm going to design a bit for the sizing part mainly. So font size for the ion label will be 1 rem and bold. This width auto is required. I'll tell you why. Let me comment it. And a letter spacing of 0.5 rem is being given so that it will have some spacing between each and every letter. Now for the p tag, I'm giving a margin top so that it has some spacing from the name one. Then font size of 0.7 rem so that the email should be smaller. I don't want it that big, and the font weight to be normal one. Now what happens is, if I have this email ID to be a smaller one, well, it will break. The text for the name will break up. Let me just show you a demo of it. If I just cut this off, let's see what happens. You can see it is breaking up. It's not taking the full width, which I don't want. That is why, let's get back. Okay, let me just show you how to fix it. Okay, I'll go to the SCSS and pass this width to be auto so that it can fit the content properly, and it's working. And now I'll get back and pass the same email as it was earlier. We are good to go with this particular design now. So the header part is ready. Now it's time to design the other parts of our beautiful modern side menu screen. And in order to do that, after the Ion header, I'm going to work with the Ion content here, in which I will pass certain pages and all other stuff, for which I don't want to repeat the designs, so that in order to achieve it, I'll do something. I'll again define a property here. And what am I going to do here is, I'll just paste it at once, then I'll explain you. So this is the property which I have passed here. It's an array actually, where we have title to be home and URL where it will redirect. We are not going to work with all of it. This is just the designing part which I'm going to show you. The icon, what icon it will hold, whether the home icon or anything else, whatever icon you want, you can just pass it. Don't worry, there are some hidden things which I'm going to show you when I'm going to design it in our HTML file. And this active one holds pretty important thing. Now I have commented a few because I'm not going to work with these things into our project. Well, in this series I'm going to show you the order screen, all the order screen what we can build. The addresses one, if you want, definitely you can try this up, and the change password also, but I have just commented up. I don't want to use it. Okay, for this application I'll only show you this particular stuff. And along with that, I'll show you the about us and privacy policy, along with the sign out one, how it can be done. Okay, once we build up all the backend stuff, then I'm going to work with that. Now, as you can see, it has a lot of things. Well, the data is not getting formatted properly, but anyways, it's fine. Now I need to loop it up in my HTML1. How will it be done? I'll use @4 and page of pages track by index, and within this for loop I will have Ion item where lines will be none, and within this Ion item I will have Ion icon whose slot will be start. Now this is very interesting. What I will do is I will change some of the things here. For the iOS I'll have a different icon, and for the Android one I'll have a different icon. How we can do that? I'll pass here iOS, and for the iOS one, whatever icon I will get from the array list for this particular page, which is the first of all the home page. Let's say we have home here. I'm going to append it with plus string dash outline. So it's gonna be home outline. And for the Android one, it's gonna be different. Let me just copy it and pass it once again. This is going to be MD this time. This will be sharp. Okay. So home outline and home sharp will be the icons that I'm going to have here. Let me just show you. It won't work as of now because we don't have this icons as of now. I think in the TS file, let's check it out. Do we have the home one or anything? No, I don't have it. So home outline and home sharp. If I have these two icons, then only it's going to work. So let's check it out. You can see this is showing up. And for our Android one, let's check it out. And I think one is showing up. Okay, the other one was something which we already have maybe. Okay, bag handle outline we have, but bag handle sharp we didn't have. So that is why this is not showing up. So you need the icons, all the icons which are required to show the design. Okay, that is why I wanted to show you this part. Let's get back to our iPhone design and start working with that. So let's go to the HTML once again. Let me pass the title and all of the stuff. Then I will be having all the icons. I'll pass all the icons one by one. So here I'm going to pass the page dot title. Okay, and this is how it's going to show up now. So icons we need, let me just pass one by one. So we have bag handle outline. I need bag handle sharp also. Bag handle sharp. Okay, Then what else do we need? Information circle for the about one. So let me copy the information one. Information circle outline I need. Information circle sharp we need. What else do we need? Okay, we need document lock outline and sharp. So document lock outline, document lock sharp. Now the final one is the sign out one, which is the logout one. Let's get this done. Logout outline, logout sharp. Okay, I think everything is done. Let's check it out. There you go, it is coming up. And for the Android device also, let's try it. It's working. All right, and you can change the color of this particular one also if you want to, but I'll keep it in this particular way for the Android one, and for the iOS one it's going to change in this one. That's fine for me. So this is done. Now I need to design it. All right, we have the data now. It's time to design it up. So let me do one thing. I will be working mainly on this ion item. So let me pass this whole stuff within a div. So div, I'm going to pass a class of, let's say, menu items. Any class name you can pass, and let's wrap everything up within this div. Okay, all right. Now I'm going to use this menu items class within our ion content here. Dot menu items, where at first I'll pass letter spacing for each one of those. Okay, whatever we have within our menu items. Then some padding left I think I should give here. Okay, which will look nice. So padding left of 1 rem will be fine. Let's check it out. Okay, now it's fine. We have some padding here. Then I'm going to work with the ion icon. To which padding right I will change it, because I don't want a lot of padding on the right side. I think 0.4 rem to make some spacing between the icon and the text. Alright, let's check it out. So now there is some spacing here, which is great. This is done. What else? For the ion item which will be selected. Now this is the interesting part. The one that will be selected by default, or you select it, we are going to design that up. And for doing so, in the HTML, I need to do certain things in my ion item. Let's do it. At first, let me pass a class here called ion padding start, so that all the items will have some padding at the start, right? In this particular way. And then I will pass an ng class here, in which a class selected will be called if the page is active. Means active is true, but I need to import this ng class at first to get rid of the error. Let's do that in the imports one, ng class. You don't need to do it for the ng modules project if you're using it there, but you have to do it in your standalone one, as we are not directly importing the common module here. Now don't worry about it, we'll fix that. But in the HTML we have done that. Now we can simply work on the selected class, which will work only on the ion item. So in the ion item, if this is selected, I'm going to have a border radius of 5 pixels of color primary. So let's check it out. By default, our home one is the one that is selected. So I'm just giving this particular one here, which is working nicely. Don't worry about this design. I'm going to fix that also. Now, if I comment this padding left, this will work nicely. So I don't think I need this padding left here. So I'll just comment it up. Fine. Now let's get ahead. Only the border radius won't help. I need some other stuff. And that's gonna be, I'm going to work with the ion label here, in which I'll change the color to be variable dash dash ion color primary, which will take the color from our, in the themes folder, variable.scss file. It will take it from there, the primary color. And the font weight will be bold of the one that is selected. Let's check it out. So the one that is selected, great, we have it bold, and it is changed, the color is changed. Now I need to change the color of the ion icon also. So I'll just do it here, ion icon. It will have the same color. So copy and paste. Or you can do one thing, you just remove it from here and pass ion label also. Okay, so it will work in the same way. Just check this out. Fine, that's great. Now there is some difference in the width, right, of both of them, because I'm passing some border left. So I need to pass some default border also. That would get rid of this problem if you want to. So I'm just going to copy it and pass it by default, but the color will be different. It's gonna be FFF, fine, the white color one. But for the dark mode you have to be very careful, the color will change. So either you pass light color or create a new one if you want to. Now this is fine, there are no changes here. Now there is one thing, if I click on something, I want to change this also. The one that is clicked will get activated. So let's work on that now, for which in the HTML, what I'll do is I'll have a click event on this ion item, in which I'll call a function. Let's call it on item tab, and I'll go to the TS file where we are going to work with. Let's minimize everything. So I'm going to have a function called on item tab here, where I'll get the page data. Let's call it of type any for the time being, because we are not giving it of any type. That's why it's fine. So I'm going to simply check here if page, which one is selected, is not active. So not an active one. Then I'm going to work on that. I'll get the index of the one that is active, which I'll get it from this particular one, pages.find index. And okay, let's me call it x.active, because we already have the page here, right? I don't want to mix it up. So I'll get the index, and at that particular index, this dot pages, at that particular index, I'm going to set the active property to be false. And finally, the page that is selected, I'm going to set the active property of that to be true. So we will have one active page at a time, means one active item at a time. Now there is something which is very important here. Let me just show you the pages one. In some of the cases I have, well, let me just show you, route to be true, okay, and in other conditions I don't have anything called route. So why have I done that? Because in all the other cases you will redirect to some other page, but on the logout one you are not going to redirect it anywhere. In fact, you are going to call the logout functionality. That is why I have done that, to identify the changes, and that's what we are going to implement it here. If page (route), okay, if it exists, if it is true, then we will simply navigate it somewhere, wherever you want to navigate. Okay, we'll check it later on, that part. Else call the logout function. Okay, that's it. In fact, I can directly call the logout function here, okay, which will not work as of now, but I'll just keep the options open so that we can do it later on. Logout function, just keep it in this particular way. That's it. Fine, so this is ready. Let's try it now. If I just toggle it, just check it out, it's working, right? Great. Now if you want to just close this particular menu by default whenever you're clicking on any item, then also you can do certain things. In the HTML one, I will, instead of a div, I'm going to pass ion menu toggle, T-O-G-G-L-E, toggle. So I need to import it in the TS file. Let's do it here, ion menu toggle, and let's import it here. Where it is, this is the one. Let's do it here. Error is gone. Now the ion menu toggle will show up, and there is a property here which I'm going to pass, which will be auto hide, and I'm going to set it to false, because I don't want it to hide it automatically until unless we trigger something. Okay, if I click on it, just check it out, it's working, right? And if you want more information like the one that I showed here, let me just show you. Okay, if you want these things to be there, you can have it. And how it's going to show up, let's check it out. Well, these are the items that will show up, but you need to pass the icons for each and every one. Well, definitely you can if you want to, but I don't want to do that, so I'll just comment it once again. Okay, so you will have a lot of items you can work with. Now let's check it on the Android device also. So I'll just go to the Android one. Let's check it out here. Okay, the spacing here is too much, right? I need to reduce it, for which what I'll do is I'll go to the SCSS file once again, and at the bottom I'm going to pass for the material design. This is how we will do it. The menu items I'm going to call the class, and there I'm going to pass an icon, margin right to be 1 rem will be fine. I fix that. Now it's proper, it's looking good. Earlier it was not looking that nice. Okay, let's get back. So this is almost done. We don't need to do anything else here until and unless you want to change the size of this particular label or something. If you want to do that, then you can try it here. Let me just show you Ion label. Let's say font size a little bigger if you want to pass of, I think 1.1 rem will be fine. Let's check it out. Yeah, 1.1 rem is bigger. What about the other one? For the icon one, I think icon is fine, but if you want to work with that, you can do that up. For the Ion icon, let's try it. Font size of, let's say 1.5 rem. Let's see how it looks like. It's smaller. How about 2 rem? Oh, it's quite bigger. So let's keep it in that particular way only. That would be better, I think. Or I can keep it as 1 rem and rest. And this Ion icon, I don't think I need to change it. So I'll just keep it as it is. I think it's fine. We can have some spacing here, for which let me have some margin top here. Or we can do directly from our HTML also. Let's do it from there only. Let me pass here Ion padding, not padding actually. I'll give margin top. Okay. Now let's check it out. I think this is beautiful. This is much better than the earlier one, which is great. And let's check it for the Android one also, how it looks like. It's looking nice, right? I'm loving it. So this is how the design it's gonna be. You can try a lot of things like the one that I showed you. You can have it up if you want to. Let me just show you that part also. Let's have the icon for that too, then we will wrap it up. So I'm just going to uncomment it once again for the final time, and we'll have the icons. I'm going to comment it later on. So for the profile one, we have person outline. I think we already have, or we don't. Let's check it here. We don't have person anything. Okay, let's work on that. So person outline, along with that person sharp. Also the next one will be the address one. I think we have location outline, so I'm just going to pass location sharp. Okay, because location outline is already being given. The next thing is the password one, for which I think what do we have here? We have key. Okay, key outline and key sharp. That's what we need to pass here. So key outline, comma key sharp. We have now all the icons that are needed. Just check it out. This is great, right? It's working nicely. All right, I'm happy with the design part. We can check it in the iPhone also. This is how it's going to look like. Great. When you have more list of data, then it looks pretty great. In fact, with less data also it's fine. But like I said, I won't be using some of those. So I will comment it in the next video. This is mainly made for the modern side menu screen. I hope you like this video. Let me know in the comment section. And do subscribe to the channel. Do like the video. Share with your friends if you haven't done that. Do check the whole series of this gift shop application. Let me know. Fill up the comment section, guys. I want to know what more you want to learn, because the back end is coming soon. We are going to start with Laravel here in the next video itself. So I am very much excited. How excited are you? Let me know in the comment section. That part too. With that being said, I'm going to wrap up this video for the day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to see you next time.